Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we'll be doing a full set. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm going in with a nail clipper to just clip down the nails, and then I'm going to come back and shape them up. But I do want to point something out. If you can see on her natural nails, she does have a line on them like you see here on the thumb, and that's either from her snatching her nails off or the previous place she was at filed too much on her natural nails. So you do want to make sure that you're cautious of the way that you are removing acrylic nails. You do have to soak them off. You don't want to pull them off. And then also whenever you're filing the acrylic, you do want to make sure that you're really careful not to file down too much, because you will leave a ring of fire. Alrighty, so now we're just going in with a 180 sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nail. And remember, when we're doing this, we're literally just filing to get rid of all of the shiny parts on the nail. We're not filing to thin the nail out. Again, just filing to remove the shine from the natural nail. And also you want to remember that when you're doing this, you're always keep your file moving, because if not, if you keep it in one spot for too long, it will cause friction and it will cause your client's nail to burn. And again, this is a 180 sanding band. Alrighty, so once we remove the shine, we're going to go ahead and dust them off, and then we're going to be applying the nail tips. So the nail tips that I'll be using today are the ones that I always use, and these will be on my website. As you guys know, I always use the same nail tips, and they're really sturdy, and yeah, so they will be on my website pretty soon. I'm still waiting on the perfect time to launch the website. Again, I do have a lot going on as far as me doing nails, me uploading onto YouTube frequently, school, and then I'm also going on vacation pretty soon for the holidays, so I don't want to have you guys waiting for your orders. So again, I will keep you guys updated on that. But again, we're just applying the nail tips. As always, I'm using my KDS glue, and then you want to remember that whenever you're doing this, I literally just seen a comment on my Facebook saying that she stopped doing nails because all of her nail tips keep falling off. Most likely you're using nail tips that are too small, so you do want to make sure that when you're applying the nail tip, they go from sidewall to sidewall. If it's too small, it will pop off or it will lift on the side. So you do want to make sure that, as always, you probably already know it, if one tip is too small and the other one's too big, always go with the bigger one and just file it down on the sides to make it fit perfectly. But you do not want to force a nail tip to go on the nail if it's too small, because it will break, or it's gonna lift, or it's just gonna pop off. So make sure that you keep that in mind when you're applying the nail tips, and also make sure that you're holding your client's nail really straight. That way you don't apply the nail tip on there crooked. Alrighty, so once all of the nail tips are on, I'm going to go in with this tip cutter, and we're just going to trim all of the nails down. And usually, like with me, after doing nails for so long, I can just kind of guesstimate how long, the other hand was. But you can ask your client how long they want them, which of course I do that too. But, ask them if that's okay. And then also, as always, just go back and measure the nails against each other to make sure that they're all the same length. So after we do this, we're going to go ahead and go in with a straight edge nail clipper. Again, it will be a straight edge, and this is just gonna be used to cut the sides of the nail tip, and this is just gonna save us time whenever we start shaping. She does want like an almond type of shape, not so stiletto, but more of an almond shape. And again, this is just gonna save us time, because that nail tip that we do not have to file, we just cut it off. So again, this is a straight edge nail clipper, or you could also use a small pair of scissors. I know I've seen people use that. But after that, we're going to go ahead and use a 100 nail file, and we're just going to start shaping. So for this, it's basically the same thing. I know a lot of you guys always say that I do coffin, which I do because that's what my clients want. But today she wanted, again, this almond shape. So it's the same thing. We file on both sides at a 40-degree angle, but instead of filing the tip at a 90-degree angle, we literally just round the tip off because it's already, you know, pointy from filing back and forth at a 45-degree angle on the sides, as you can see. And then afterwards, we just, of course, blend the nail tip right in the middle. But again, we just do 45-degree angle on both sides until it gets as pointed or as rounded as you want. And then you just finish off rounding off the free edge. So we're just going to go ahead and do that on all the nails. Again, 45 on the sides, and then just round off the nail tip and blend the nail tip right in the middle. And that's pretty much it. Alrighty, so we make sure we dust the nails off, and now I'm going in with a primer. As always, I'm using my OPI Bondex. As you guys know, that's what I use because I have a lot of it. So I'm just trying to go ahead and get rid of it before I invest in my Mia Secret primer, which I haven't had any issues with the OPI one, but again, I just have a lot of it. So now we're going to be going in with some, I'm going to be using some glitter that I got on eBay, and I'll be sure to leave the link in the description. But it's like a Christmassy glitter. It's blue and it has little snowflakes in them and Christmas trees in them. So I did get this one from eBay. Again, I will be sure to leave the link in the description. And then I'm also going to be using my Mia Secret Cover Rose, and I'm going to be using some blue glow-in-the-dark powder. And that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and the clear, I'm using the Mia Secret clear acrylic. So for my brush, I'm using my alpha brush in the number 10. As you guys know, I just alternate from different brushes. Whatever I pick up first is what I'm gonna use. But if you are a beginner, I recommend you start off with like a number 8 or 9 and then just work your way up to a bigger one. So whatever works for you, but I do have a promo code for them, so I'll be sure to leave that down in the description. And I went ahead and just let the little glitter nail dry before I do the clear over it. And I'm gonna move over to the middle finger. So as you can see, I'm doing this pink and this blue, or sorry, this blue. And this blue I just mixed up on my own. It's literally just like clear acrylic with some blue glow-in-the-dark powder. And a glow-in-the-dark powder, you can get it on eBay. It's literally just glow-in-the-dark powder, and you mix it in with your acrylic. And that's pretty much it, because that's what I did. As you can see, I could have added a little bit more blue, and I'm probably going to go back and add a little bit more blue to the actual acrylic powder, because as you can see, some spots look a little bit like whitish. So I am going to go back and fix that. And I'm guessing I just used too much clear acrylic and not enough blue. And then again, once I do that, I'm going to be just encapsulating that with some clear, or actually I think I'm using my Mia Secret Pink, but whatever you want to use. As you guys know, the Mia Secret Pink is pretty translucent to where you can actually encapsulate nails with that one, because that's what I do all the time. But yeah, we're gonna keep going. And then again, I'm also gonna be using a Cover Pink, which will be the Cover Pink by Mia Secret. And I buy the small containers. As I said in my previous videos, I am gonna be ordering some more of the Cover Rose because I just love that color. But as far as cover colors, they have the Cover Rose, Cover Pink, and Cover Beige, and I really like the Cover Rose. So I'm going to be ordering a bigger container of that. But for this finger, we're doing an ombre. So as you can see, I just applied the blue on the tip, and then I'm going back in with that cover color and just doing it on the back and blending the colors right in the middle. It's really simple and really pretty. As always, making sure that we wipe around that cuticle area so we don't flood that cuticle, because if not, you will get lifting. And whenever the acrylic touches the skin, you want to make sure that you wipe it off as soon as possible, because if not, it's going to get hard and it's going to be nearly impossible to take it off, and most likely you will get lifting. And then also you are going to see me come back in and encapsulate these as well with the Mia Secret Pink. Alrighty, and for the pinky, I'm using the same thing. We're going to do an ombre, we're going to do the blue and the cover color on the back closer to the cuticle area. And then also one thing that I forgot to mention is that my paper towels that I'm using are by Viva. I do have the link in the description. I know somebody the other day was like, why is there paper towels in the description? Well, because that's what I use and that's what works for me, and they're really absorbent. So I really like them, and I do recommend those to wipe your brush off. And also, as you can see, you do have to make sure that you're wiping your brush off a lot, especially with the cover colors. A lot of the time they tend to be pretty messy, so make sure that while you're working, you're wiping off your brush a lot. Like sometimes I feel like I'm over wiping, but you definitely have to, because if not, once that acrylic gets stuck on your brush, it's going to make it really hard for you to have a smooth application, because that acrylic is going to keep building up and building up and building up in your brush. So again, make sure that you wipe your brush off a lot. But I'll be having all of the products linked in the description if you guys are interested. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go back and go ahead and encapsulate the glitter finger with the pink Mia Secret acrylic. And I really didn't have to wait, but it was taking a little bit longer to dry. As you guys know, whenever it gets pretty cold outside, and you know, once the temperature drops, your acrylic starts to mess up if it's cold, like wherever you're doing nails. I know in here it was just starting to warm up because I turned the heater on, but it will start to act a little funny. It's going to take a little bit longer to dry, which is why I started using the monomer warmer. The one I use is by OPI, and my teacher had it for a long time and she gave it to me. So I know people were saying that they were having a hard time finding it, but I'm gonna try to see if they have any type of different alternatives, different products that you can use as a warmer, and I'll be sure to let you guys know. But again, on the thumb, we're just gonna go ahead and do this plain color on there, which would just be the cover color, and we're just doing that all over, and we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other hand. Alrighty, so I'm going to be doing the exact same thing. On the other hand, we're doing the ombre on the pinky and the pointer finger. We're doing all blue on the middle finger, all nude on the thumb, and then the glitter on the ring finger. I am going to wait to do the glitter on the ring finger last, and that's usually what I do, try to do the glitter last, because if not, it gets stuck in your brush and then it's all over your other nails. But the reason why I did it first on the other hand is because I was so excited to see how it was gonna look, because it was my very first time using it. But it's really pretty. But again, you do want to make sure that when you're doing glitter in your acrylic that you do it last, because it does get all over the place. So keep that in mind. And then as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and lay down the blue to make sure that it dries before I do the ombre. So as you can see, I kind of just switch around how I do things, but whatever works for you is fine. You don't have to stick to a certain method. You don't have to do the exact same thing that I'm doing. Just whatever works for you, it's okay. Alrighty, so for the glitter nail, I'm going to do a thin layer of acrylic as a base. And then I'm going to be picking up the glitter with the brush and just placing it on the nail. As you can see, it has snowflakes and then Christmas trees. So I'll lay down my big pieces first, or at least try to lay my big pieces down first, and then do the other little small glitter pieces around it. And then again, I'm just using my wet brush, or it's kind of like, it's not wet, but it's a little damp, and I'm just picking up the glitter with that, or you can use another brush if you would like to. And then after that, we're just going to come back and encapsulate it. You do want to make sure that you do a thick enough layer of acrylic over the glitter, because if not, once you come back to file, you are going to file that glitter off. So make sure that you keep that in mind. And again, we're just applying the glitter now, and then we're going to come back and encapsulate that with our acrylic. Alrighty, so once we finish applying the acrylic, we're going to go ahead and reshape the nails. So I'm using my same 100-100 nail file, and again, we're just reshaping the nails. As you guys know, once we apply the acrylic, it takes away from our shape, so we have to come back and reshape those nails to make sure that we get the perfect shape that we want. Because just the other day, somebody was telling me that once they apply their acrylic, it takes away from their shape and they don't look as nice. Well, this is a step that you do not want to skip. You always want to come back and reshape the nails after you apply the acrylic. Like, you have to, because if not, your shape will look a little funny. Once we finish filing or reshaping all of the nails, we're going to go in with a fine drill bit to file the nails, or you could also use your hand file. But for me, I always use the drill because it's just easier for me. I can get really close to that cuticle area, and it also is a lot faster. So as always, I start around the cuticle area, working my way around from the right side to the left side, just going back and forth, and also following the rest of the nail with the bed or the belly of the drill bit to make sure that the whole nail is nice and smooth. But as always, around the cuticle area, you want to make sure that you spend a little bit more time, just because that's where your lifting comes from. So if you don't seal it really good, you will get lifting. So make sure that you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way you know that the acrylic is not on the skin, and most likely you would not get any lifting. But I promise you that if you think you're doing everything else correctly but you're still getting lifting, most likely you're not doing this right. You're probably not filing enough around that cuticle area to seal it. Just because I was in that situation before, I really thought that I was doing it right. But you do want to make sure that you use a fine drill bit. Even if you are a beginner, it's just good to go ahead and start off with a fine drill bit and not a safety one when you do this, because even with the safety drill bits, it's still pretty hard to get really close to that cuticle area to seal it, because I know I tried that before and it just did not work for me. So make sure that you go in with a fine drill bit and just file really close to that cuticle area to seal the acrylic. Alrighty, so now we're going to go in with a buffer, and this is just to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nail from the e-file or the hand file. So we're just buffing away all of those imperfections, and it's going to leave the nail nice and smooth. And as you can see, I run my thumb over each nail to make sure that it's nice and smooth. And then of course, if it's not, then I just go back and buff a little bit more. But once we do this, we're going to go ahead and dust the nails off, and I wipe them off with an alcohol wipe, but you can have your client go wash their hands, whatever works for you. Alrighty, so I wiped the nails soft, so now I'm going to be going in with my Madam Glam Perfect White Gel Polish to draw some little snowflakes. As you can see, I finally invested in something that I can apply my polish on instead of the back of little nail art wheels. But anyways, I'm using my small nail art brush. These will be on my website pretty soon. You guys know it comes with a pack of 3, and they're really nice to do nail art with because they're really small. But I'm just going to be drawing a few snowflakes. I'm going to do one right there, and then another one a little bit closer to the nail tip, and then I'm going to be doing like little dots around it, kind of like snow. And then the blue, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the blue will glow in the dark, so this will be really pretty. And then I'm also gonna come back and sprinkle like my white acrylic over the snowflakes and everything, well, really everything that's gonna be in the white gel polish. And that's just going to give it a little bit of texture instead of it just being, you know, really flat. And also whenever you do that, you do want to make sure that you do like a top coat first. And I forgot to do that, but do a top coat first and then draw your nail art over the top coat and then come back and sprinkle the acrylic powder over it. That way you actually get the like the, not chunky, but the 3D effect, I guess. But again, I'm just using white gel polish, and then you will see me come back and sprinkle the acrylic powder over this again to make it have texture. That's what I meant to say, so it can have like a little texture. And then since it is gel polish, we are going to cure this for 30 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other hand. Again, I'm just using my small nail art brush, and then I'm using white gel polish by Madam Glam in the color Perfect White, and I'm just drawing the snowflakes and then some little dots as snow. And then again, I will try to find the little stone that I got, this pink one that I got it from Amazon. I'm gonna try to find the link to it, but it's really nice and neat, and this is literally what it's for, to apply your nail polish. As you guys know, I was using like the back of nail art wheels for the longest, and they were all full of polish. So I went ahead and just got this to use for this. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this, and we'll be back. Alrighty, so for the thumb, I'm going to be doing another design, and she had a picture of it in her phone, so I don't really know how to explain it, but I think they call it the sweater effect or something like that. But again, make sure that when you do this, you do a top coat on the nail before and then come back and do this. And I totally forgot, but it still looked nice. But as you can see, I'm literally just drawing a few lines, and then I'm going to go back and sprinkle the acrylic powder over it as well, and it's just going to give it a texture. And then we're going to go ahead and cure them for 30 seconds. Alrighty, so now we're going to go ahead and apply some bling, and I'm only going to be applying a couple to the nails with the ombre. So as always, I use my Mia Secret gel resin, my wax pencil, and then I'm using like these off-white, I think they call them opal nail rhinestones, and I'm just applying them on the nails with the ombre. And then as always, spray the nails with the activator, with the Mia Secret gel resin activator, and then I'm going to go in with my IBD gel top coat, and we're going to cure those nails for 60 seconds. Alrighty, so same thing for the other hand. Again, we're applying the bling on the nails with the ombre, which is the pinky and the pointer finger. And this is the Mia Secret gel resin. As you guys know, this is what I always use, and I have no issues with my bling coming off. Now and then you will have clients that there's really nothing you can do because they're still gonna lose some bling, but for the most part, on all of my clients, they stay on pretty good. And that's just what I use, my Mia Secret gel resin, and then I spray them with the activator. And as you guys know, the activator is not just mandatory, but I do recommend it. I just feel like the bling stay on better once you spray them because it helps that glue dry a lot faster. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and apply the IBD gel top coat, and then we're gonna cure them for for 60 seconds. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. They turned out really pretty. That ombre and that glitter and everything just looks so good together. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at GetNail32, and I'll see you guys next time.